Hello everybody, it's been a while but I thought I would return back to classic Train Sim, which is now Train Sim 2021. So without further ado, let's turn off the pause menu. And today we are driving a Class 50 diesel locomotive from Exeter St David's to Paignton on the Riviera line. So I've just opened up the doors. There are two variants of Class 50 available for Train Simulator. There's one available on Steam which was produced by Mesh Tools, but that's quite a few years old now. And then there's this one which I've got, which was produced by Bossman Games in association with Armstrong Powerhouse. So we're going to turn off the tail lights to start off, and then we're going to set the train up. So I've got the headlights and marker lights on already. As you can see, we've got the British Rail blue large logo variant with the Network Southeast sticker on the light box at the front, which used to be the head code box. So if we enter the cab, and if I press Shift and W to insert the master key, press Control and N to turn on the automatic warning system, and then we need to press and hold R to release the brake pin, get the brakes into the full service brake application. We'll also turn on the instrument lights with I, and then we shall open up the windows to get some external sounds. And we shall also turn up the clank factor all the way up, so we get the best smoke effects that are possible. We also have a rake of Network Southeast coaches at the back, which I believe are the Mark II A's, which are also available from Armstrong Powerhouse. So links will be provided in the description below. So we can now depart for our first station stop at Torquay. Also, if we put the train into forwards, we can now depart. Starting speed limit is 30 miles per hour. Also press Shift and M so we get the traction motors coming through at the loudest setting as well. In terms of detailing and functionality, this locomotive is very much on par with the Class 37. Speed limit is now 75 miles an hour. And we're now passing Exeter St Thomas Station. Forgot to turn on the vigilance device, so I've just pressed Control D to activate now. That will sound every 60 seconds, so we need to respond to that. can probably tell I'm a little bit rusty because I haven't touched a train sim in a few months now, since I started Train Sim World 2. The speed limit is now 100 miles an hour, which is the maximum line speed and also the maximum speed of the Class 50 locomotive. The scenario we are playing comes with the comes with the pack. It is one of 6, 4 of which are for the Riviera line. The other 2 are for the Wherry lines. I'll bring up the briefing. We'll be calling it Torquay and then Paignton, and then once we get to Paignton and offload our passengers, we've then got to take the train empty into Goodrington Yard and then run round it ready for the return trip at the end of the scenario. Should take us about an hour to get through this one. On this particular section of track there are a lot of foot crossings. Just got advance warning of an upcoming 75 miles an hour speed restriction, so I'm going to shut the power off now and get ready to slow down for that. We're now passing through Starcross Station. Just past a class 31 there. And the speed limit is now 80 miles an hour. However, just after Dawlish Warren Station it will drop back down to 70. So I'm just going to leave the train as is. Just going to shut the power off now. Just going to start braking it slightly. Now past Dawlish Warren Station. And we're now running along the Dawlish seawall. Speed limit is just going up to 75, though in a moment it's dropping down to 60. Just going to brake the train down a little bit again. We're now passing through Dawlish Station. Just past a class 43 HST. With the rear power car being a bit claggy. Speed limit is now 75 miles an hour, however it's going to drop back down to 60 in between the next two signals. Just had an advance warning for that 60. We're now passing through Tingmouth Station. We just passed a train being double-headed by two Class 31s, one of which was in rail freight livery. At this point the line runs alongside the Ting estuary. Whilst the speed limit is just increased to 80, in a moment we'll be able to do 90. Speed limit is now 60 miles an hour. Just going to apply a bit of power now. We're now passing through Newton Abbot Station. Just going to slow the train down now to 40 miles per hour. Newton Abbot is where the line towards Plymouth and Penzance leaves the Riviera line. Speed limit is now 45 miles per hour. We're now on what I think is probably the most challenging section of the route, which is between Newton Abbot and Paignton, because the gradients are very steep on this section. Need to be in Torquay for 21 minutes past. Currently expected to be in there by 19 minutes past. Got about 4 miles to go. Speed limit is now 60 miles per hour. Certainly do like the amount of weathering on the Mark IIs. Just got advance warning for an upcoming 45 miles per hour speed restriction. Yeah, Mark II coaches certainly do have some nice details, and I love their running sounds as well. Very authentic. This is the Class 50. And it's just started to rain now, so I've just turned on the wipers. Another nice thing about the Class 50 is the animation on the AWS Sunflower. Just adds a bit more charm. Just got to watch the speed of the train now as we are on a downwards gradient. Just past one of the Network South East Livered Class 50s. Just going to brake down to 30 miles per hour. This is Tor Station. Torquay is now less than a mile away. Just releasing the brakes now for a little bit. I'm not going to accelerate because we are still on a downwards gradient and we are due to stop at Torquay. Gradient is currently 1 in 56 according to the HUD. And it's pretty much downhill all the way into Paignton at this point. At Torquay we need to stop at the end of a platform. So we'll stop by the HST marker. And here we are at Torquay, our only intermediate stop. And it's also the last one before Paignton. So just get a screenshot here, which I'll probably use as the video thumbnail. So we've got about 4 minutes to wait before our book departure time. So our locomotive is 50036 Victorious, which I believe is preserved. My nostalgia for the 50s comes from being enthralled by the sounds of 50035 Ark Royal, which featured in Video 125's Chiltern Take 2 driver's eye view. And of course I've had the privilege of having Class 50 haulage on the East Lancs and Keighley-Worth Valley Heritage Railways in the past few years as well. I think Bossman Games have done an excellent job on the modelling side of things. It looks very nicely detailed. Certainly demonstrates a higher level of detail than the Mesh Tools one. But to be fair, the Mesh Tools one is about 10 years older than this one. And of course AP have done an excellent job with the sounds, and they've also done the scripting for the locomotive and the scenarios. Mark IIAs also feature a head-out view, and I believe there is a passenger view in the first class compartment there as well, which is nice to see. The Mark IIAs also feature the individual door script as well that the Class 205 has, so they open and close at random. So I'm just in one shot there. Also, you can notice the drop light windows open at varying heights as well. We've also got the tail lamp fitted onto the rear coach as well. Some high-res textures as well, with all the important details. So I'll put the train back into gear now. Getting a bit of wheel slip there, and we've just been bowled by another train, so thanks Class 101. So the speed limit is still 40 miles an hour. So we've got about 3 minutes to get to Paignton now. But the rain certainly is making it difficult for us to keep to time. Just going to cut the speed of the train down. We are speeding a little bit. Now I've got to get the speed of the train down to 15 miles per hour. We also have a cautionary aspect. We are being routed into platform 1, which is why we got the AWS bell rather than the hooter. The speed limit is now 15 miles an hour as we approach Paignton. Paignton is of course the terminus of the Paignton and Dartmouth Steam Railway from Kingswear. Interestingly, on this route the track to Kingswear is featured, but it does not have any scenery. If you want to drive to Kingswear, it is featured in the Riviera 50s route, which is available on Steam. And we will stop here. And incredibly, we are pretty much a few seconds early in Paignton. So this isn't the end of the scenario. We've just got to wait for our passengers to be offloaded. And then we're going to be running empty into Goodrington Yard. And then we need to run around the rake of coaches. So we need to stop at Goodrington Yard siding number 3, uncouple, and then take the loco into the head shunt, and then head to Goodrington Yard North, and then couple back up in Goodrington Yard number 3. So I think this little bit at the end is going to require a bit of brain power on me, as I believe the points are all manual here, so in the yard. And that's the reason why I tend not to do most some of the freight scenarios. Because sometimes I don't think the game is entirely clear on where it wants you to go. Most rate scenarios also tend to be a hell of a lot slower than the passenger scenarios. think the passenger scenarios give you a bit more to do because you're stopping at stations. Just got about 5 minutes to wait here. Gives the platform staff enough time to get the passengers all off the train. Check the track monitor. There is another train in the sidings at Goodrington. It's due to head out to Newcastle. So I think we might be waiting for that, because our signal is still displaying a red aspect. Just like the outside, the interior cab also has some good attention to detail. We also have a functioning NRN radio, which was already set up for us at the beginning of the scenario. So on here you just enter your radio number, so you can keep in contact with the signaller. So here comes that Newcastle service, which is an HST. So our signal has just cleared to a green aspect now. Okay, you must now disable in Goodrington Yard siding 3 before getting on the move. Please ensure all manual points are set correctly. So in fact we will do that first. So we need to be in Goodrington Yard number 3, and that's not what I wanted to do. For some reason it's... there we go. For some reason it keeps going back. I don't want to the cab cam. I don't want it to. That's number 1. That's got us into number 3, so that's okay. Right. So the speed limit is now 15 miles per hour. And the HUD is displaying Goodrington Yard 3, so that's good. So that's a sign that we've set the points correctly. I believe we can just take our time at this point as well, which is good. Goodrington Yard is on a bit of an upward slope, which makes things a little bit more trickier. In the days of steam, this probably would have been a bit of an advantage as well to the train crews, because it would have given them an easier start first thing in the morning. So I think we can stop about here. Just wait for this instruction to process. Okay, just one last thing to do before you can clock off, and that is to run around the stock in preparation for the loco and stock to return on 1A50 1020 Paignton to Paddington. First uncouple from your stock. So if I go to the coupling menu on the HUD and scroll down to our locomotive and just click on that, so we are now uncoupled, I think. Now head to Goodrington Yard, head shunt, remember that to set all points, so we shall just go back to the track menu. Make sure that we are set up for the head shunt. I think we are. Yeah. Okay, so if I turn that off, apparently we weren't uncoupled properly there. Also got to be careful of the surging power there as well when you uncouple, because we are now light engine, so we don't have the weight on the back. We need to bring our loco right up to the sidings so we can change the points. Right, we can shut down this cab at this end. Change ends. Switch ends to Goodrington Yard North. Remember to ensure all manual points are set correctly. You may choose whichever available route you like. So we'll just go back into the menu. Ideally we want either this road or that road. I think it would be easier to go into this road and then back into the train that way. So there we go. It's funny how the raindrops are showing in the cab, but they weren't showing. They're not really showing outside. I think that's just one of the quirks of Train Sim. Do have to stop the train in the North Yard again. So we can change ends again now. So if I just go back onto the track view and change that point, and there we go. Just demonstrating that the wiper has 3 speed settings. And there we are. So that's the scenario complete. So we shall check off and see how we did, close off and see how we did. So we completed the scenario successfully. We got caught speeding 4 times and exceeded the passenger comfort levels about 0.6% of the time. Other than that, it was a highly enjoyable scenario, and I would strongly recommend picking up the Class 50 from AP if you have not already done so. For those of you who would like to watch me play games that are not related to public transport, I will be leaving a link to my new gaming channel in the end screen. I am currently playing through Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and you are more than welcome to come over to that channel if you are interested. I am certainly not abandoning this channel, as it will always be my main channel. For obvious reasons, however, I have not been able to get out and about as much as I would have liked to. So in the meantime, Train Sim and indeed Train Sim World itself will be the main source of content for the foreseeable. With that said, please feel free to rate, comment and share links of my videos to others, and of course subscribe if you wish to stay up to date. As always, thank you so much for watching, stay safe and take care.